Holding long conversations without letting things get awkward can be very challenging. It doesn't matter if you're talking to a cute girl that you want to date, your boss at the office, or just an old friend. Nobody likes talking about boring things like the weather or your weekend's plans. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 simple topics you can use in any conversation to avoid awkward silences and to talk to anybody with complete confidence. Alright guys, so the first topic is the weather. Nah, I'm just kidding. The first topic is to ask the other person for advice. And this works so well because people love to give advice, people love to give their opinion on things because it makes them feel important, and that's just human nature. We like feeling important. Now, 3 easy things that you can ask other people for advice on are relationships, your health, and your career, because these are 3 topics that most people consider themselves experts in, so it tends to be very easy and non-threatening things to talk about. So if I was talking to you, I could say, listen man, there's this girl I've been on a few dates with, but she flaked on the 3rd date and she told me that, that her ex has been calling her now and that's been messing with her head and that she needs some time for herself. How do you think I should deal with this? And I'm sure just hearing me ask you that now, like, things are already popping to your head. Again, you could say the same thing for a career. You could say, hey, I've been working at this company for the last year and I like it here, but I've been thinking about changing careers and doing personal training. And I know I'm not going to make as much money, but it's really a passion of mine. What do you think about that in terms of, balancing the passion versus the money? And similarly for health, you could do the same thing. You could say, have you tried out the paleo diet? A lot of people I know, and by the way, I think the paleo diet is bullshit. But anyway, you could say, have you tried out the paleo diet? I know a lot of people who say that, they've lost so much weight and they've got so much more shredded just by following paleo. What do you think about that? And the great thing about this is that after the person has answered your question and they've gave you advice, it's very easy to turn the tables on them and to ask them about the same thing in their life. So if I asked you that question about the relationship and after you gave me your answer and gave me your advice, I could say, thank you for that advice. That's really insightful. How about you? Have you been dealing with any sort of like relationship decisions in your life? And now that you've opened up to them and you've shared some things about your life, they're going to want to reciprocate and they're going to want to share some things with you about their life and potentially ask you for your advice. And that's just going to give you a whole lot of ammunition for the conversation. It's going to make it really easy to, be talking for, 5 or 10 or 15 minutes just from this simple question, asking them for advice. All right, man. The second conversational topic is to tell them about your weekend's plans. Nah, I'm just fucking with you again. The second conversation topic is to make an observation. And this works so great because it allows you to use the environment around you as inspiration for your conversation. And generally when you're making an observation, when you're talking to someone, the observation can be about 2 primary things. Either it can be about something in the environment around you guys that you can both see going on, or it can be about them, maybe about something that they're wearing or something like that. So for example, if you're on a date with a girl at a bar and you guys were having drinks at the bar, and then across the bar, there was another couple that looked like they were on a date, you could sort of play a game with the girl and you could say, hey, look at those 2 people over there. Do you think they're on their first date? And, immediately it's going to sort of turn it into a game where you guys are both looking at something in the environment. It might be other people, it might be a building or a piece of architecture, and you guys are both going to sort of make inferences and guesses about what those people are doing or about, what might have inspired the architect to design the building in a certain way. Now, as I said, you can also make an observation about the person you're talking to. So maybe you're talking to a guy and you notice that he has a really cool watch on. You could say, hey man, that's a really cool watch. I like that. Where do you get your inspiration for your style? Something like that. And that works with guys and with girls. People love talking about their style because most of us put a lot of effort into, the clothes that we buy and the clothes that we wear. We take a lot of pride in that. So if you notice that the other person clearly put some thought into their outfit and you compliment them and ask them about it, they're going to love to talk about it. Their eyes are just going to light up because they're going to be so happy that you noticed. And at the same time, it's going to give you this conversational ammunition, whether you make the observation about the environment or the person you're talking to. And it's just going to allow for you guys to talk, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes just from a simple observation. All right, guys, I got one more topic for you guys that you can use in all your conversations, but It's a nice fall day here in Boston, so I'm gonna take a little walk around and I'm gonna finish filming the video outside. Alright, so the third and final way to keep the conversation going is to tell a story. And I want to make this as easy as possible for you because I know a lot of guys struggle to have the confidence to tell a good story. So my main tip when telling a story is this. Tell it as if you're living it. Literally envision the story in your head and then recount it as if you were reliving the entire thing. Also, don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. It doesn't have to be a blockbuster story where you almost died or you made $1 million. It can be a relatively mundane thing. And in fact, mundane stories actually tend to be good because they're very easy for the other person to relate to. So let me give you an example from my life just so you can get an idea what I'm talking about. So yesterday, I was going to the gym. And so I packed my bag to go to the gym. I had a coffee before I went to the gym because, personally, I only have caffeine before I work out just because I get so jittery and so anxious. So after that, I quickly made my way to the gym. I checked in at the counter. I waited for the elevator to go up to my gym. And when I got on the elevator, there was this guy next to me. And he started commenting on my tattoo because I was wearing a tank top. He was this really nice guy. We chatted on the way up in the elevator, chatted on the way to the locker room. And when we got into the locker room, I told him to have a good workout. It was nice to meet him. Now, about halfway through my workout, I ended up working out on the squat rack next to him. He was on the squat rack next to me. And while I was working out, I realized he was just making eye contact and smiling at me the entire time I was working out. And that's when I realized that he was gay. Now, I don't have anything against gay people, and there's a lot of them at my gym, but this particular guy just hadn't struck me as gay in the elevator on the way up. So anyway, I tried to just focus on my workout and not make eye contact with him because I didn't want to lead him on. So anyway, eventually he wrapped up and moved to a different area of the gym. But after the workout, I went into the locker room to get changed and to head home. And the same guy was in the locker room completely naked as I walked in, and he was just staring at me and he said, "Hey man, how was your workout?" And I'm just doing my best just to keep looking at his face and not to look down. And I said, "Oh, it was a good workout. How about you?" And he said, it was a really good workout as well. And then he invites me into the sauna. And being polite, I say, "Oh, thank you, but I actually prefer the steam room." And then he responds by saying, "Oh, did you know our gym also has a steam room? Let's go hit the steam room." And at that point, I just had to make it clear that I wasn't going to be steaming or saunaing with him at that point. So I just told him I had to quickly run and make a haircut, which was a true thing. So I got out of there, and luckily it was just a close encounter. Now, that's a funny story, and it's sort of like a random thing that happened to me last week, but it's a great example of something you can tell someone to keep a conversation fun and engaging. And the same is with the first two topics. After you tell the story, the other person's probably going to reciprocate and tell you a similar story from their life, so it's going to turn into a long chunk of conversation. So those are the three conversation topics you can use. Just to quickly recap, the first thing is to ask for advice. The second thing is to make an observation about the person or about the environment you're in. And the third thing is to tell a story. Now, while all these topics are really great and they really can help you have more interesting, fun, long conversations, if you're not actually confident beneath the surface, you're not going to be able to trick people with these topics. They're going to be able to tell still that you're really nervous and insecure if you don't have the true confidence to back it up. And that's why I have a free confidence hacks cheat sheet for you that goes over 7 confidence hacks. It's basically 7 ways that you can instantly boost your confidence. And when you combine the inner confidence that these hacks give you with these conversation topics, it'll turn you into sort of an unstoppable social beast. So to download that now, just hit the bubble that just popped up. If you're on mobile, hit the I in the top right corner, and that's going to take you to another webpage where you can instantly download the cheat sheet. Otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my new videos, and all my videos show up right on your YouTube homepage. That's all I got for this video. Talk soon and stay beastly.